All right, we're back. We have picture of the draft here for Covey, but it is going to be Mazel, Covey, and Shoes who are here. And there's Covey's beautiful face.
We're working on it,
But we are now into the halftime of our last series of the day, where FlyQuest came back with abandon in a game that felt like TL First had complete control and dominance, honestly. Choose, what are your first takeaways from that first game?
Yeah, I was really impressed by TL. Because heading into the series, I thought like Fly would be more coordinated, but their bot lane was winning. The Varus lane, Surdy was putting on a lot of pressure topside. City was ganking all 3 lanes. They accrued about a 4K gold lead. And then that bot lane, that bot jungle fight was heartbreaking. I could just tell like Spec's on the way pinging and like his team's engaging 4v5, like. And then the game was not over, but man, that is one way to throw a game.
Yeah, I get that is one way to say it. And we get to see FlyQuest tweet here. The comebacks galore, but they pull through in game 1. Have to stand by the coach's prediction going in game 2. So interested to see. Oh, we got Covey back. He's back.
Yeah, so we had a game plan for this next segment to pull drafts and talk about how we could make those drafts better.
Yes.
So today, me, Rafa, and Joshi are all casting from the same place. And when I pull up a Twitch VOD and try and go through it, my internet dies. So I got one screen grab for everyone if we go.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to go through it then. Let's go ahead and grab the screen grab.
First draft of the game.
You got a long time to dissect this one.
I look great in this one, too. I got one where all of our eyes are closed. So this is
So we
excellent.
can't see the draft sins. That's why we have our eyes closed. Choose. Get this one down for me.
Okay, so my job here is to break down the draft, right?
See where we can make it better, especially looking at the mid lane.
If we can.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the bans. We've got Maokai's banned out on blue side. Standard. Actually, I don't want to leak anything.
No, Maokai's standard on blue. I can leak it, You ban out Maokai on blue because you want to first pick other stuff. You just don't want to deal with Mao.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah, so Lucian, Nami, Elise, I like that. That's a high level amount of progression and actually, this is the first thing to fix. Wukong blind pick. Elise is pretty good into Wukong. This is also the game XU. Yeah. This was and then the next game they picked Sejuani. That's right. So the Wukong blind pick for sure is fine, but if you're playing against a solid Elise player, it won't feel great, particularly when you have a volatile bot side matchup, which is pretty much every single game of League of Legends these days. Outside of Sivazeri trade, but that isn't the case here. And then 4-5, the Renekton ban is interesting because I think they would want Renekton with Elise. I'm not sure if Fake God is just really good on it, but then you can also potentially play Renekton mid, have a really strong mid jungle, come down to Lucian Nami, got a pretty clear game plan there. But they opted into the Azir, something a bit more like insurance. But then, you're obviously going to give M&S the Akali counter pick, which played 2 games in a row and essentially just dominated the series. So next time Dig plays C9 Challengers, there's a couple things we can think about.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
I know that game 2 as well, they actually did switch up that blind of the Wukong. Instead, they actually changed it up to a Sejuani, which I think did fare quite a bit better for them. Is that at least a lot harder time moving the Sejuani and getting ahead.
Yeah. It's interesting to see. I mean, I know we were kind of memeing it coming in with like the lack of versatility or variety, I guess, in the drafting. But I think we have seen some interesting stuff today and some stuff in NACL that is definitely leaning to what I expect from NACL players. And sometimes it's better to just go for that comfort style. And I guess looking forward to this next game and next step, since we don't have any more screenshots, choose. What exactly, I think for TL First, you want to see them go for in draft? I mean, they went with that very heavy priority in early game. Do they just kind of all in onto that, or?
Yeah, I mean, you generally play things on stage that are working in scrims and you develop that confidence. And I imagine they had like a good amount of success I know Mia's playing like a lot of Varus, right? So these kinds of picks have like a lot of agency, a lot of playmaking. Especially if you're opting into something like Jarvan jungle, and they executed, right? They had like a 4K gold lead, so I wouldn't be like, I would be tilted if I was a player and we lost that game because it was like so close. But to know that they like had control of the game, yeah, I think stick to the plan, just like learn from the first game, and then follow through in game 2.
I like it. What about you? You have any thoughts on that, Cubby?
I think it was a really interesting approach to draft. I guess you said we aren't seeing a lot of volatility in terms of draft. A lot of it's just picking bot lanes that are strong and then trying to win that 3v3. Taking away all the enchantresses from Ketong was quite the interesting approach from TLF in terms of targeting that. And I think they actually had a pretty decent response. I mean, they won the lane with Varus Nautilus. Jarvan was able to get things done on the map, and they had the lead. It's just, Choose mentioned being tilted as a player. If I was Aspect in that game and my team lost the 4v5 when I couldn't get there, the team's enemy side of the map, I'd be pretty bummed. But it honestly is a draft where if I'm FlyQuest, I would actually think about changing things up. Because I actually like the approach that TLF had for red side. And it's probably something that FlyQuest hasn't practiced all too much, given what the meta is. Like, how many games of Jhin Tahm Kench have you played in scrims right now? That's really tough, and something I really like when teams throw curveballs, especially in a best-of series. TLF threw theirs, and I'm curious now how FlyQuest respond.
Yeah.
Now, Choose. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add that, like, when I do think about the game even more, it was really just Fly's bot lane, the more I think about it. Yeah. I did forget they did target ban Ketong quite hard, and he was forced onto the TK. But if a Nautilus is 2v2ing, like, if a Nautilus is... Because TK is a good pick into Nautilus, and if they're able to... I think the camera showed, like, there was at least, like, 2-3 solo kills bot side. So...
Oh, yeah.
In most games, the game should be over off that. So Fly for sure, I agree with you. They need to switch up what they're doing, especially if they're blue side again and they're going to hit with that many target bans on Ketong.
What's Soul Strike's telling the squad right now after that comeback? What do you think he's got?
Honestly, he would not be happy.
I wouldn't be happy either, yeah.
He would not be happy. He would. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be happy. Like, the early game, I mean, you should be happy in the fact that, like, they grasped that opportunity and they came back and they took control and they followed through with it. But they should remain humble because that early game was, like, unacceptable, especially from that bot lane. So, for sure, talk about a switch up in draft. If we're going to run it back, what are we going to do differently? Yeah, for sure, heading into game 2.
Well, I've been told that we have a long while to go. So we've been talking a lot about what we want to see going forward, and I guess we're going to keep talking about it some more. We have a bit of a late draft start. So let's try to pick apart a little bit more of this one and kind of pull away the positives. I think Surdy, we put a big emphasis on the top lane matchup, especially Surdy versus Philip. I think we saw the reason why Surdy was kind of expected to have a lot of strength in the top side and be very aggressive, but again, we saw the floodgate from Philip kind of be there and be a stopping force.
Yeah, no, the top matchup did deliver. It was Jace Fiora, so none of this Cassante Jax that like is a bit more tame and then scales into the late game. So you could tell from level 1, Surdy was like here to like pressure this guy. The Jace was blind picked, I think.
Counter to Fiora. Fiora was RT.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. There you go. But yeah, Philip was definitely being pressured by Surdy quite well. There was actually this timing in mid-game, I think it was after TL initially threw, where Fiora was topside and had direct access to like top lane inhib. And TL first continued to defend tier 1 mid, and that really bothered me because the tier 1 mid tower was on like 20%, 30% health, and then Surdy had like the green light to go in the game there. Like they were checkmated in my opinion, from a coach's perspective. Like it was a really good state for TL first, but they blundered again there. It wasn't like a complete ace, so it's not as flashy, but it's a similar thing. Yeah, I'm putting a lot of my attention towards Surdy to like lead and shot call and particularly if he's laning this well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it all works out. We did have that delay on draft, so we are going to take a small little break while we get ready for the last game of the day, so don't go anywhere. Welcome on back in, everyone, to NACL as we are into the draft for the last game of the day. We got FlyQuest Challengers on the blue side, TL first on the red side, and not changing up sides this time. Wonder if we get change-ups of bans. It looks like not so far, as the Jax ban first from FlyQuest and the Yuumi ban from TL first. But that's where I want to take a little second to zoom out and look exactly at what we're trying to accomplish for both teams. TL first, obviously opting into early game strategies last game. Didn't work out for them in the long run. Gave them a run for their money, but FlyQuest want those insurance policies for the mid to late game.
I think the key there is the long run, because it did work out early. And I would not hate to see if TLF went for a similar strategy in this one. With that said, FlyQuest, I wanted them to change things up, already doing so, taking away that Fiora from Surdy. He was able to R2 and play very, very well in the top side. So already, changes being made here on the side of FlyQuest. Curious to see how TLF responds and what happens with that Maokai pick. I think that you got to have a very good plan if you want to give away Maokai B1. So that was a good, decent plan, I would say, for TLF in game one. I don't know if you want to give it away game two for a champ that has a 66% win rate in the major four regions. That's pretty oppressive.
That is oppressive and impressive. We do get the Kassadin band away as the last band here, and the Rise from Spyrax band away from TL first. It is the first pick Maokai coming in again.
Dude, how do FlyQuest keep on getting Maokai? Like, it's the second game for Yuji. They won both games on it in LCS with Spica. This champion is turbo broken. And they just keep on getting them. I don't know.
I'm going.
Whatever soul strikes and they're pouring in the water over there at FlyQuest, I wish I could get that lucky. That's all I'm saying.
I would say so. We do have a first pick coming in 3 or 4 TL first.
Comes Varus.
Well, Ash is on the table again, so Ash comes
wrong.
through
Okay.
here.
Here comes Varus still.
For it. Yeah, I could see the Varus coming in again. The comfort pick for Mia as a whole, but
Maybe Jarvan. Show it now.
Would we see that again? Maybe the Jhin becomes priority here. I mean, hey, Masu did pop off on the Jhin last game.
I was fine with the Jarvan. I think that, again, it was a unique take on... We don't usually see drafts where Enchantresses are removed. So I thought that Jarvan was actually a unique take there, but no, it will be the Varus for Mia. So that is the bot lane locked in for TLF, and Ashe Varus, man, a lot of range, pressure, and utility as you go later into the game.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think we saw those early machinations for Mia working out in the bot lane. A lot of confidence, that early trade and everything, but love to see the flashes forward with piercing arrows, things like that. Could be just tried and true, though, for FlyQuest Challengers, as it looks like they're just hovering that Jhin again, and it was an incredible pick to set up the rest of the team last time around, and we're going to see it again.
Timer's up.
It is.
Could be something that it was off the table in the last draft. It is up now. But I would love Sylas here for Spyrax. Great champion for him. And honestly, seeing Ashe plus Varus is not only enough to grab Sylas, but also it's a deny. Because Malachi ult's so good on Sylas, so really would like this pick from FlyQuest.
Yeah, I think it fits, and I think... Oh, nope. It doesn't fit. It goes out the window, Cubby, as Azir.
How's your Sylas, man?
Hey,
how's the Sylas, buddy?
Hey, we'll have to get... I guess we'll have to ask and find out. I'd love to see this, though. That's Spyrax as a comfort pick coming in on the Azir, though.
Yeah, definitely. I would say Spyrax's best champion, what first got him on the map way back in 2020 when he was playing on Supernova Dark Matter. The team that wasn't even Supernova's main team was asking for the Sylas, but it would be a Syndra. So I gotta say, I like Syndra. She's strong right now. Pairs up well with Ashe Varus in terms of getting picks. Very dangerous to play in a Malachi plus Azir. The point and click follow, you can get under that Scatter of the Weak. Here comes the Emperor's Divide. All of a sudden, Syndra's in the middle of a team and dead. So some aspects we'll have to be very careful about in the mid game. With that said, expect to see some supports taken off the board. This team that
Keaton's champ pool going down the drain.
Yeah, once again, man, he's eating it. And then on the flip side, I'm wondering if we actually get a Jarvan ban. I will say Azir deals pretty well with Jarvan. But I expect fully to see a Vi ban here. And probably another jungler for City.
Yeah. I would say so. Maybe even the Elise. You think the Elise
could be a Cassante ban?
Okay.
I think Cassante for Surdy, that's A-OK on 4 there. So we'll see.
I'm really interested at the at least what we get as a response in jungle for City here, because I think City himself, obviously the role swap and everything like that, but interested that the champ pool that's come alive so far has been very varied for City, and I wonder if we stick to meta, things like that. The Jace against Philip banned away. I don't want to deal with that multi-poke fashion that they were whipping out last time around. The final ban here will come across for FlyQuest.
Is it Renekton? Could we see
probably
maybe a Sejuani here? Could see it hit the ban list too. Again, I'm really curious about Cassante. I think Cassante is very strong.
Ooh, there's the Elise ban. I was right.
All right, Cassante.
Don't call me big brain for nothing.
Surdy, you want that Cassante?
Come here, boy.
Jungle's showing, but then you have to play into it. Jax and Fiora both taken away. He would Surdy would still have the Gnar, which is okay into both Cassante and Malachi. It's not bad, but that's a lack of damage then on the side of TLF. At least in the top side. I feel like Cassante is damn strong.
Ooh, okay. City Witty.
Though.
Interesting to grab the Wukong here into the Maokai. I think it's something we've seen into the Maokai a decent amount, right? And you can dodge out of the Nature's Graphs, things like that with the clones, but leaving Cassante on the table here for Philip.
Camp's pretty damn good. I'm very surprised keeps on slipping through the draft. So we'll see if that ends up being the grab. I will say Keaton on Nautilus, again, this is a little bit out of his comfort zone, but Nautilus is pretty... You're going to get pounded in the first few levels. But point and click CC against Ashe Varus Syndra. Not
it's
bad.
So good.
You get something later, you just got to get to level 6, hopefully. And
I love the little arm. You'll get there.
You can get there, man. Those depth charges will come on in and be lethal as we move on. As Philip, just slam the Cassante, dude. You know you want to play it.
You know it's gonna happen. We all know.
All right, Surdy, what do you got? What are we cooking up here? What
Let him cook. Let him cook. cook.
I
30
see.
is the man with the plan.
He's a good
all
Gnar
right?
player. So I'm expecting Gnar. It's the most common handshake that we've seen in LCK.
I was hoping for something spicy. You know, I wanted like, I don't know. I guess everything else is. I guess Renekton is on the table. I don't know if you want to take Renekton.
No, Renekton feels pretty bad. And
into
everything else, so
Cassandra.
it's an alright.
I do actually like the little minute outplays that can happen with the Gnar into the Cassandra matchup. Really interested to see how Surdy does that here. He's had lane dominance. Does he do it again against Phillips? Cassandra.
Yeah. Well, gotta say, for TLF, a lot of emphasis on the bot lane. As Chu said, very popular to have volatile bot lanes at the moment. Ashe Varus will have to be very careful. I want to see if they can track the Maokai, make sure they can avoid trouble, because in that raw 2v2, they should win out very heavily early on. So I want to see if TLF can really cash that in. And then moving forward, they can use that lead and the control you can have on the map with Ashe to try and find Maokai in the jungle, find some picks. Whereas on the side of FlyQuest, very similar to what we saw from them last game, scaling is going to be their friend. Maokai Azir, really tough to fight into if you lose terrain on the map. So again, TLF need to take control of the map early so they can play from ahead, not allow Maokai and Azir to set up, because that is deadly when they are able to get on your side of the map.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And again, take the early game from last game with a grain of salt with everything that panned out, but I think that is still the emphasis for Team Liquid first. We had said for FlyQuest, it's about figuring out mid-game and how to pull games back and close games out. They did just that last time around. And now that we go into the final game of the day, we have the opposite score lines for both teams. We need an end to the story here, and Team Liquid first want to make the first page happen in that fact. Want to be the team that steps first on a Summoner's Rift and finds those early advantages. But can they do so where all focus comes, it feels like, on this bot lane early on?
And I'm kind of curious to see TLF actually not rush for a ward in the bot side. That is something that's pretty common, especially when playing double range matchups into the Nautilus. But instead, just tracking their jungle entrances, trying to protect where City starts. And yeah, fully expecting City to path towards the bot side. Last game, UG was pathing towards top. You can dive mini Gnar with Maokai plus Cassante, but then you are leaving your bot lane to the Wolves. So would be curious to see if UG maybe does something like goes red Raptors Krugs, ends up bot, able to sneak in. Really curious to see what UG's pathing is. I think that he has decisions, definitely has a lane that if he turns bot lane around early, it can be really bad for the side of TLF. This game could be quick.
Hopefully not. I'm hoping for a banger to finish us out here. I want to get that. We've had some insane games today so far, and I want to continue that here. Now, when you had said a little bit about like the early parts of this bottom lane, how quickly, especially with the pathing of junglers, do we see kind of resources delved out for TL first with City Witty on the Wukong?
So just having your jungler path bot, it enables you to play more aggressively. I think we actually saw Surdy do a really nice job knowing that last game City was pathing towards top. He was able to make things very volatile, and I do want to pause because that path I highlighted for UG where he ends on the Krugs, that does put him bot lane immediately. So
it does.
We will see UG with level 3 try and sneak in bot and get something done. And I gotta say, Mia Rovex have played this very cautiously in the bot side. They're actually getting shoved in at the moment. Again, if you start in lane, you have perma prio as both Ashe plus Varus, but they're currently down a level. We're actually forced off creeps, so they don't even have level 2 yet. They need to get that ranged minion to die, and UG's here.
Fading forward a little bit. UG's going to be waiting here as the engage from Keetong is there. Still not level 2 just yet for TL.
They gotta go now.
They're feeling so baited here. Heal comes out immediately. There's the deadly flourish as well. Mia taking a lot of damage, but here comes City Witty now. I feel like they have the advantage here. They have the chase down, the poke, everything working out. City Witty's going in now as well. It's a 3v3 in the bot lane in 3 minutes. Flash forwards, not going to get out just yet. I thought maybe we'd get the flash from Masu, but not onto Mia today. And it looks like both teams going to come away with licking their wounds, at least in the bot side. Spyrax going in on an ice aspect here and almost taking it down, honestly.
Oh my goodness, I gotta say, bot lane, that was very close. Mia's lucky that she's able to actually pick up the creep wave, and because the health bar is so advantageous for FlyQuest. Oh, yep.
Yep. And another one bites the dust.
Well, bot lane going
unfortunate.
sour is bad. That's that's not good for the side of TLF here.
Yeah, for sure. I think that especially looking at how this bot lane should go out, now is the chance for FlyQuest to kind of look towards mid lane, maybe even look towards top. Because I feel like with that little bit of advantage, it might just help kind of clear things up in bot lane. The Swifties bot for Masu as well, so the slows from Rovek's not going to be as crucial. And does that mean FlyQuest go for some early objective setups because of that? Or in all actuality, try to fight TL first in this early game?
I think if you're Yuji, you keep on pathing bot, and therefore you profit. As it is Nautilus plus Maokai. Now, TLF, they did actually hold their flashes. So very important against that combo. If you don't have flash, then you truly do die. And there is absolutely no control that you have over that. So still have ways to play around this lane, but again, it's a very crummy start for them. Especially a lane that, is so volatile and one that is so important to be ahead. Because if you aren't ahead, then Keaton can step up and look for hooks just like this.
Trying to, at least. And
Way
that's
too
the
big,
scariest part, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too big. We do see City Witty focus. Oh my god, what a hook on bot side. And the deadly flourish on top of it. There's nothing they can do! Masu gets the second kill. Fourth shot. And fourth. No, the barrier. There you go, Cubby. You love to see the barrier come through.
It's good for lane, and guess who's here? It's Yuji skipping over more camps to make sure he's here on the hover. That lane is bouncing back into FlyQuest, and as Choose highlighted in our break, as much of a disaster as bot lane was for FlyQuest in game 1, it is that and much more for TLF here in game 2.
Yeah, not getting the same, I guess, benefits that you got in game number 1. The benefits aren't carrying over here, Cubby. But I do wonder, right, and I was talking about kind of City Witty maybe focusing towards that top side. He's literally just hard clearing right now, trying to catch up with Yuji, who has found that advantage, right? And you're talking about that pushing lane, puts Mia and Rovex in a really awkward spot, which looks like it's calling City Witty down here.
Oh, God. I mean, if Spyrax actually commits to the realm, okay, he's just going to make sure...
He's going.
Yeah. City has to be here to save things, but usually being here means...
He spotted out, though. Yeah, this is really bad. Rovex knows what's happening and just is trying to get away. Mia's trying to commit to the kill.
Spyrax is here.
Now you have Spyrax, and they didn't know he was coming down the whole time. Aspect is way far behind, and Spyrax will clean Rovex up. A kill back double for Mia, and you get some trades, but a double for Spyrax will be just that. 3-0 and 2-0 for the carries of FlyQuest Challengers, respectively.
That's about as good as it could have went for TLF. Props to Mia for stepping up and finding 2, as we're going to get a replay again. I mean, all you do is just continuously path bot. As long as it's 3v3s, the team that's ahead is going to win. So Mia, again, Vera's so strong early. Mia and Rovex just step up, and they're just like, all right, we are dead. Spyrax is on the roam. He's not showing mid. We're going to take as many as we can with me. And props to them. They actually were able to find some folks. So it's not, huge shutdown gold early, but it's something, as Mia does take down the Maokai and end up picking up the Nautilus too. But it's still an abysmal start for the side of TLF, and now Aspect, he's going to get scooped into the Maokai.
Oh my goodness, yeah, there's just nothing he can do. Flash is there, but don't bother wasting it. As the Happy Kitty comes out. Is that a Happy Kitty for Yuji? But it's just domination right now coming out of this mid lane, coming out of Yuji being very proactive on the Maokai. And again, goes back to the question of how does this guy keep getting this? How does FlyQuest keep getting this?
And here comes Yuji.
Yeah, again, speak of the devil. We'll see Mia locked down. They get Yuji back, though, taking the tower shots. Rovex in some trouble, so is Mia. I don't know if they can get out of this one. The Glacial Augment. Oh, Masu! 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 Double kill! And not even needing the fourth shot. Masu's here to make his name.
Oh my god, the 100 ping warrior comes up huge in lane. He's 5-0, and I know from talking with Masu before the games today, he said it's been a bit of a shock playing so far. He played against Wild Turtle. He's like, I grew up watching Wild Turtle. I'm just kind of here to learn as much as I can, try and gain some experience and knowledge to help my team. And man, Masu's also here to make some plays and show off why he was picked up by FlyQuest in the first place, as Yuji falls victim to flashing backwards against the W of Maokai. Always a deadly one, but Masu, he knows he's got this one. Gets the auto, then the kill on the bouncing grenade, which means it does more damage to the next targets that it hits. Nice deadly flourish to finish up Mia too, as he calculates the damage, takes him out. Masu.
Look, We got positive gaming experiences coming out from my Mia though. Okay, well,
no,
I
not
spoke
for
too
TLF.
soon.
This is
The
not
bee
positive.
baited them.
It's not
Now,
positive.
yeah, Deadly Flourish comes out. There's the curtain call. City Witty is here. Rovex dodging out. Does go down to
hold on.
Kitong. Mia almost killing Yuji. They do. And now City Witty wants to go in on the Masu. Mia trying to get away here. He's being blocked as well. Spyrax
is
is
a party
here.
again.
One more
Nice
poke,
sidestep.
one more prod. There's the kill. Killing spree for Spyrax in the mid lane. Now City Witty trying to get help from Aspect. They get one back. It's not enough. Flash from Aspect gets him out. But FlyQuest are still dominating.
I feel like we just need like Fiesta music in the bot lane. It's just been a great party down here. I mean, it's been bloody. I don't know what they're serving, what the entrees are, but people are enjoying themselves and keep on returning.
Champagne's popping. We got fireworks.
It's got everything going on down here, man. This is like the best club we've ever seen going on to the bot lane. No one can escape it from Summoner's Rift.
The Salt Club. Let's go. I'm really excited to see kind of this iteration of FlyQuest where they didn't just kind of wait. They sprung forward, it felt like. And the proactivity was huge, especially from Yuji, to facilitate a lot of these lane leads that we now see. And honestly, I think I gotta talk about Yuji a little bit, right? I feel like if we've put so much focus on Spyrax and especially Masu as well, Philip. But I think Yuji himself, right, is incredibly strong and will be here to set up more with Spyrax's beautiful delivery. See, Yuji gets the kill. They knew where we were talking, all right? Rovex flashed it over the wall. It doesn't make it out alive, so nicely done. But Yuji, man, getting another year, having been probably the most highlighted prospect in jungle, I feel like, towards the end of last year as well, Cubby.
I mean, the guy played Maokai and walked bot, dude. I don't know.
Come on, man.
we'll give him some
Don't discount Yuji for what he's done over the last year in growth just because he's playing Maokai.
We will talk about that. I think one of the coolest things about Yuji, one, he loves to talk about how he's the only pro player from Mongolia. But also, two, when he went back home to Mongolia after last spring, he wasn't able to play the game. Like, he's playing with 100 ping, kind of like what Masu's playing with right now. So he went through a bunch of Korean streamers who played solo lane and just kind of figured out, like, by studying a lot of odds, hey, this is how I should play around these lanes. So this is how these lanes play out, and this is where I can help out as a jungler. And he had a drastic improvement from spring to summer last year because of how much better he was interacting with his lanes from the jungle, showing off here as him walking bot consistently this game, playing exactly what the meta is and exactly what his team needs. What we highlighted in draft has been working for the side of FlyQuest. They keep on flipping the 3v3s and the 4v4s and winning. It's awesome.
And now that I've seen Masu build Ravidus Hydra twice on Jhin, that means I'm going to have to build Ravidus Hydra now anytime I play Jhin. Surdy, quiet game so far. Quiet, honestly, feels like series so far for Surdy as aggressive force. Was very strong in his lane in game number one, right? And the side lane pressure was really huge.
Nice game one.
We see Yuji trying to press Mia a little bit more. Curtain call comes out. I don't think those 4 shots are going to do enough. Right through the uprights. Not going to get it, but the wave is crashing, and Yuji is here. Spyrax is here.
Oh, boy.
Rift Herald is also here, but there you go. They've already jumped onto the rest of the members, and they've gotten one of them down. Masu's out of the fight. As Kitong makes it out with an Hydra line. Doesn't live for much longer. And a response from TL first. They lose the tower. They get 2 kills and a thumbs up from Kitong.
Yeah, a bit of a flub here from FlyQuest as they were waiting for that Herald that wasn't dropped soon enough, so they couldn't make the dive happen. TLF, they saw 2 members that weren't synced up, and they took them for themselves as that volatile bot lane goes in favor of TLF this time around.
You say, hey, keep returning to the well. Something might change, and this time it did. Still want to highlight the fact this lead, though, is still pretty good for FlyQuest, especially looking at the mid lane and the strength that comes through for Spyrax now moving out of the lanes consistently. No focus on the early dragons so far, and I think that's playing to, honestly, the situation of the game, right? I don't know if that's necessarily the biggest thought on the mind right now, unless it somehow ends up in these 5v5s or more skirmishes.
I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised because Mountain Dragon's like one of the strongest dragons, just like on its own. But I mean, this attempt for Yuji, I think he's just got to wait for the wave. Just make sure you get the wave in. You have Azir rotating first. Because the wave is late, because some of the tools were burned, they aren't able to get here in time. The wave gets cleared out immediately, and that means that TLF, they make the turn on the 2. They have a 2v3. Yuji and Spyrax, by being here, were never able to get involved, and it's well played from TLF. A bit of a blunder here from FlyQuest.
We see FlyQuest, though, making up a little bit of that as they did end up focusing the dragon that we were talking about. So 13 minutes in, we have our first dragon off the table. Will be an Infernal Dragon next in 5 minutes, but that is nowhere near the focus here. And I guess my next biggest want or worry, I guess, is how does Surdy get involved? I typically would love to see at this time, maybe even level 11, right? Surdy getting involved in these flanks, trying to set up for the team. But I just don't know if you can do that against Philip in the side lane right now, who's on the Cassante and is scaling up.
Oh, hold on.
Might get
This is one thing to set up.
Oh, stun? Spyrax out, though. Nicely done with the shifting sands.
So Rovax, of course, on this Ashe. Mandate's finished. Stacking up that ability haste. Ashe support, very powerful in the later stages of the game, too, given the utility around the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. So we'll see if Rovax can make that pay off as we move on. But I think the answer for TLF right now is just continue to get Surdy resources as we take a grand tour on the Rift, baby.
Go a little wild there. Whoa.
It's some F1 racing going on.
Are we on the range? I got my saddle. I'm ready to go. Let's go. But we do have a little bit of a lull here, it feels like, and especially looking at this next step, I guess, for a Radiant Virtue Maokai for Yuji. I think the strength is Scarman alive for FlyQuest, and you're going to want to go back to that whole thought process for City Witty next steps against Yuji.
I think right now, like, what TLF have to do as a team, I mean, City's just trying to get any camps that he can, given the game state at the moment.
True.
But I think the plan is, wherever you want to fire ECA, fire it, like, around the Syndra plus Varus, and if it connects, you pray that you can kill someone. And if not, then you have to run for your life, because you are very far behind, and you're probably going to die.
All right, it's pretty good explanation there. I like it. But it is that 2,000 golden lead. Not as much of a lead that maybe FlyQuest would want to have, but I feel like still very comfortable in their own right. We have pretty much first item completions across the board here. Cubby Trinity Force and top side for Surdy, so we know where his head's at. But everywhere else, he's pretty stock and standard. Yuji, getting caught here, though. Rovex on the backside. But the rest of FlyQuest are right here, though. They get the engage here onto Rovex as well. And the multi-CC is there. Masu ends up getting the kill. Oh, Mia.
Oh, Spyrax.
Mia. Shot. One more. Oh, the AoE. It was the Ravenous Hydra. Oh, no. Oh, my God. It's actually happening. Oh, FlyQuest. They've done it. They introduce it. They slam it down in a triple kill for Masu.
Oh, it's a massacre for TLF as FlyQuest 16 kills for themselves in 16 minutes. Masu has 8 of them to his name. And again, this rookie, this is his second split playing competitively. He started on Team Pending. And, like, the fact that Masu's putting up these performances, given the ping he has as well, this is a huge debut, again, for a role that when I was talking to the GMs, they were having trouble filling this offseason. Masu being a young person in terms of experience and also age, playing at this level, I mean, this is so promising for FlyQuest. We know their top side solid, but Masu being able to round things out, this could be a great news for them moving forward in the split.
And we get a little bit of replay of that one. Just the excellent engage onto Rovex, and then getting caught up in the chicky nuggies was Mia.
Yeah, I mean,
this I can't believe it. One Ravenous, 2 Ravenous, 3 Ravenous.
Mia was sidestepping him too. That doesn't feel fair. Doesn't feel rewarding.
Doesn't feel fair.
You dodged everything and you still die. It's like it's like release Zoe, you know?
Love this sidesteps. That has been a honestly big bright point for Mia. The skills of multi-challenger coming through in those mechanics. But yeah, the situation is not in the benefit, as now we have Gale Force completed for Masu. It's going to be even scarier at 8-1. Looking at Rovex hovering this bottom side with City Witty. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out. All out, popped by Philip. Nice. He is so CC'd, but he has so much range. Can he get out? Okay, flash from Surdy will signify the end of that play. We have, though, FlyQuest responding with top push and mid push with the Riptail charging and a kill going over quickly to Masu.
All right, 1 for 1. That's worth it for the side of TLF. So with that play bot, I think that TLF playing to what their win con has to be. Fish with Rovex and play around Surdy in the side lane. It's not for free. As FlyQuest and Spyrax going to take a lot of free farm for themselves, but at least TLF, you know, not deterred by them being down. A team that we know will look to make plays and, still trying to do what they can to stay in this one. Oh, here we go. This could be good.
And my God, at Surdy on the back. We said, how does Surdy get involved with the team?
In a sec.
He's slowing down Keetong, but that trap there was really nicely done. City Witty catches up with Keetong. City Witty really wants Masu. They do end up taking down the Keetong on the Nautilus, so it's a response, and Surdy gets the kill as well.
Well played by Surdy, like using that pressure on the side to go make plays. He's sitting at 2-0. We know that Nar is a champ that he's damn good at playing, and really good to see. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's true. Because Masu was hitting the other members of the family to get to the one member of the family that he wanted to.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong, but it's so right.
Baby.
Oh, gotta love FlyQuest. If you want to join the conversation, make sure you type in hashtag NACL under your tweets. We'll see if we can get them up here. But FlyQuest, you a real one there. It's still Dragon going over to FlyQuest as well. So it'll be second Dragon of the game. We get a Cloud Soul on the Rift. They're moving into City Witty's jungle. And they're moving into this bot side to try and take down another tier 2 tower.
I think they're just moving into more parts of the map that they actually own. That's not City Witty's anymore, my friend. That is... this map is all FlyQuest.
It's under new management.
Yeah, it's
UG
a
management.
4K Goldie. They're trying to showcase greatness across the entire Rift, as that's a nice attempt for the ECA. Again, this is what we're going to be looking for from TLF. Whenever that's off cooldown, Rovex can and should fish. And if that doesn't connect, then TLF, they're scared. That's kind of where this game's at the moment.
I wonder for TL, who have had a bit of a rough early start here to the split, how they kind of keep going. Because I think, for me, the biggest positive so far for them has been they are scrappy, man. And we have seen so many times the mechanics in these fights, like, a lot of times, Surdy is winning top lane, right? And it comes down to late game decision makings, late game executions that always bite the bullet for them. And I think that is still so promising and something that I very much look forward to growth over the season.
Again, it feels more like it's just bigger mistakes being made instead of like them just getting beat and outmatched individually. That's part of what we knew this team is going to have to overcome, and part of why we were excited about them, right? Because they have upside. Hold on, Mia could do a lot of damage here.
And, Masu?
Oh, never mind, he's dead.
Gale Force forward, yeah, Mia's just gone out. One more shot. One more. Oh, it doesn't get it. All right, cool. Double kill for Masu, though, and this should be the final bits and pieces for FlyQuest, maybe. Actually, okay. You get your cake and eat it, too.
Play it safe. Aspect can't fish on the Masu. Not going to come up with enough distance on the scatter of the week. But FlyQuest, again, this is a team. I mean, you mentioned, like, this top side, they wanted to stick together as 3. Even, Masu recognized that playing remotely at the moment. He's just excited to meet him because it kind of keeps the good vibes going on in the team. And definitely, this is a team that feels like a team of one that we're excited to see moving forward as ECA will not connect. Surdy might try and fish.
My feed is unfortunately okay. Now I see everything going on. Now UG gets the engage. Oh, nice little knockback. Surdy's not going to make it out of there alive, though. That's unfortunate. The pumpkins are stacking up for Aspect. They get UG, but now they're in the back of the pit. And like fish in a barrel is FlyQuest shooting him down. And it's another kill for Masu, who is godlike now. They catch out Rovex in the end, too. Oh, City. Let's go. He got Philip. Consolation prize.
Oh, TLF aren't going out without a fight. They understand they got to try stuff, make plays. But FlyQuest, it's all done. They're trying to move to 5-1. And man, I got to say, I haven't seen the results of the other streams. I've been dedicated to this one, trying to bring everyone the action. But I believe this puts 4 teams at 5-1 if FlyQuest take this game as well. Depending on what the results of Wildcard are, too. That could be a 5th, as I think the top of the table might be early in the season. But we're starting to see some of the teams separate, and FlyQuest was a team that we were expecting to be competitive. But even with a sub-in for Keetong and also Masu being remotely, they still look pretty good. I think that, they're not playing Perfect League of Legends by any means, but this is a team that will be tough to beat and take down at Challengers. And good to see these young players continue to develop and improve.
Again, I know this game not as much for Mia, but I've been loving seeing the come up of semi-pro ADCs. The fact that we're getting Masu and Mia with a lot of these very courageous upfront plays, and Masu being able to carry his team in a lot of situations, although maybe needing him a little bit more now as Keaton gets caught out. Spyrox is already dead. Here comes Yuji and Philip around the back. The curtain call is enough to take down Mia.
Nice.
And there you go. Yep. Put him to sleep. Sing them a Betty Bye story and go ahead and get them some hot chocolate, because that's game over and good night for TL first. FlyQuest will put the finishing touches on this one.
That's going to be a thick scoreline here for Masu in a bloody game. 15-1-10 on the Jhin. Keaton as well. Again, someone subbing in, stepping up for Winsome as Winsome stubs in for Ayla. Like a very respectable job on a champion that, he's not known for, not his comfort champ.
Yeah.
Keaton was
2 games in a row.
Yeah, see if he's able. Hey, we're not talking as much about game 1. Game 2 is a little bit better, but good stuff from FlyQuest. They take the 2-0 and move to 5-1.
They do indeed. And starting off week number 2 in a very positive light, they'll put the last attacks, I guess. All out comes out. Maybe they want more kills. They get the last auto attack on the Nexus.
Masu's not dying, man.
Masu is not letting that one go.
He sees the 15-1-10 like, I want that. I need that, my stats page, please.
Starting off strong. That is it for our last series of the day, though. FlyQuest coming out with 2-0 victories. But we'll be back shortly after a small break with an interview with one of the FlyQuest players. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League. I'm joined with the top lane, Floodgate, the steadfast man in the top side, the Cassante player of your dreams. I've got Philip from FlyQuest Challengers.
Hello.
My man, I love to see that smile on your face, but definitely a little bit more of a laid-back game for you in game number 2. How are you coming away with seeing your team pop off around you like that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember in the middle of the game, I pressed tab when I was like 0-1 or 0-0, and I saw the kills on the board, and I was like, oh, my job here is done. So yeah, I was just chilling that
Done.
game.
Love to hear it. But I want to go into the conversation about you a little bit more so, right? Like maybe this one wasn't as much of a crazy show up from you, but I think something that is starting to become consistent with you is you're going up against these very aggressive top laners, and they can't seem to break you, my man. So what is kind of your approach when you're going into the likes of Hanser, Surdy, stuff like that, where it is, they're going to come at you with everything you got?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some really solid like 1v1 players, right? And or in an ACL, but I think I trust my team a lot, and especially since Yuji and Jalal playing together from last year, I trust that they're able to like progress the game on their own, and even Masu, right? Like I think I just have like a lot of trust for my team and I think they have a lot of trust in me to like hold enemy top players down, so like they can do their thing and just win games on their own.
Okay. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty of how you guys approach games, I know we were talking last week, and something for you guys where when you acquire a lead, you want to close it out, and that's something you guys are working on, right? But maybe not the case in game number 1, but how did you feel that goal is kind of progressing as the week has gone on?
Yeah, honestly, that was like a struggle for us in like scrims like early on, but I honestly feel like other than that first game that we lost to AoE, that's Keaton right there. Other than that first game, where they got really lucky, I just think we got a lot better at closing out leads, especially Jalal kind of takes a leadership role now, and like how to progress the game.
I like
So
that, actually.
yeah, I think we just got better at closing out with leads.
Now, one thing you mentioned to me, and I want to check in on it. We'll check on it as we go through the rest of the season. But you were telling me that you want to be more of a risk taker. Maybe, going off with some of the LPL tops. No bias here at all, Philip. But in all actuality, how has that been going for you? And how do you want to kind of take next steps for that?
Yeah, honestly, today, obviously, I didn't take a lot of risks.
No risks.
Right? But, yeah, I mean, I just, that's like the type of training, I guess, that I want to do for myself, because I think I was like definitely lacking that a lot from last year. Like, I was always just like the guy that was like, oh, I hope the enemy top doesn't abuse me too hard, So yeah, I just want to be more more aggressive in general, I guess, and pick up more riskier champions than I did last year, because in Academy last year I was just playing like Gragas and Clown,
Yeah.
Momo and Diamond can carry, stuff like that.
So what you're saying is I'm going to get a flex image of you now when you're flexing on people, right? That's what we're working towards, Philip?
I mean, I've been skipping the gym recently, so...
Oh, no. Okay, we'll check back in. We'll check back in. I want to give you a shout-outs. Anybody you want to talk about before I let you go?
I'll shout out my team, honestly. A big shout out to Masu, because as you all know, or for those who didn't know, he's playing on 100 ping. And for a lot of people, I think they would expect our top side to be carrying these games, right? For us. But I would honestly say that all of our games, except for like maybe 1 or 2, he was the reason that we won, right? I think he has really good killer instinct, and he's been holding himself really well in lane. So yeah, shout out to him and the team, honestly. Shout out to managers, McMahon. Shout out to teammates from last year, Tomo and Diamond, for coming for you. Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, Philip. Stay kind and stay good. Make sure you come back ready to go for the rest of your games.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring back in my World Star analysts. I've got Choose and I've got Cubby to round out the day here. And we're going to go ahead and look over the standings that we have after our day has finished. I believe this is after all games have been played. And... oh, is there still a game going? Okay. Oh, no.
Words, but, you know, until then, we got to start.
Yeah.
As, yeah, we're back. Also, I got to say, you know why this goat's back here?
Why?
Because Philip's the goat. It's how he signs off all his messages, you know? We had to honor Philip with this.
Love it. Hey, you had to. Even the quiet second game is fine. Now, Choose, my friend. You've been with us all day. It's been a long day. You've made it all the way to the end. Broadcasting. Look at you changing it up. What was your first takeaway from NACL week 2, day 1?
My first impression was like, I wasn't certain what I was gonna see, but like it really turns on its head, doesn't it? Like one team is dominating one game, and then the next game it's like completely different. So
oh yeah,
I love it.
It kept things interesting. I was kind of like, I was really invested. But also hearing the players at the end of each game was like, it was nice. It was nice to see like a bit of personality behind all the play. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a little bit of personality. I appreciate all your insight you give us, and especially getting to chat with you about the mid lane and some of the coaching strategies and stuff. But I do want to give you a chance to plug yourself. So what are you working on? Where can we find you? Give us the plug.
I don't think I even introduced myself, but I'm the assistant LCS coach at Golden Guardians. I was a pro mid laner, but now I've been a coach at Golden Guardians for like 2 years. And I'm from Australia. Fun fact.
All right.
But what's
your favorite animal then?
My plug is my favorite animal.
Yeah. If you're from Australia, you gotta have a favorite animal, right?
It's a tiger. It's not a kangaroo.
Let's go. Okay. I'll take the tiger. I'll take it. You're in my second rung now, behind Copy.
Yeah. But my plug is just root for Golden Guardians this split. Yeah.
Let's go. I appreciate you again. And Cubby, thank you so much for being here alongside this ride and dealing with all the crazes, pulling up all those clips. To the production crew and everybody behind the scenes, thank y'all for making us look so good. To the audience to tune in, and to the players that make us be here, and not make us be here, but the reason why we're here. Appreciate you all as always. Make sure you go tune in to the last game over on Challengers League, and again for more games tomorrow. And we'll see you on Summoner's Rift.